are today in historic downtown Smithfield. We're at Christ Episcopal Church, established in 1832, one of the most historic sites here in our lovely town. Welcome to Behind These Walls.
The church itself is a little bit of a mystery. In the early 1800s, I am sure this building was built because the bricks are just like the bricks of the old jail, but it did not become a church until 1832. The congregants from St. Luke's, and there were only about 38 to 40 of them left, they wanted to build a Protestant Episcopal church, which was just beginning to come up in America. And so Mallory Moore Todd, who was the son of Mallory Todd, the gentleman who came from Bermuda and actually is the guy that invented the Smithfield ham, but at least got it on the market and perfected it and so forth. Well, Mallory Moore Todd said, I have just bought this corner lot, so why don't we do a church there, because there's already an existing brick building. The brick building, we have no idea what it was used for. It was some kind of a storage unit, or perhaps even people have said maybe a church had been started there before. So if you get on the corner and you look back at the church and you take the towers off, you can see that's the old church right there. The windows, of course, were different. When they moved in, the women did their sewing and sold that and made money to paint the inside of the church, so that was one of the first things they did. And then they had quite an interesting time during the Civil War. Of course, most people in Smithfield were gone, all the men. And so during that time, the minister that was here, or the priest that was here, decided he needed to go to war too. So he left, and they got another rector, and that rector finally decided he had to go too. So he left, and they claimed that the bell tower, they said they gave the bell to the Confederate Army to melt down. We are not so sure that happened, because the bell in the belfry right now is an 1832 bell. And it wasn't really until 1892 that they had the town back in place, they had people working, and there was money in the church so that they could go forward and do some other things they wanted to do. In 1892, they said, okay, we're going to put towers on the outside of this church, a bell tower, big bell tower. And they decided to change out the windows. And they had a period of time where, of course, Tiffany and all the stained glass was coming into vogue, and so they had Tiffany come and take a look at the church. The big window over Church Street was also put in at 1900. This makes me think that that one is a Tiffany as well. The windows on the other side, the opposite side, are German, and then the one behind the choir loft was not put in until the 1900s, around the mid-1900s. They say 1950, and yet there's a little thing that says 1945. So it's somewhere between 1945 and 1950, and it's a J. Whipple. It's different from all the others, and it's really a gorgeous window. As we looked at the church in the spring of 2018, there was a little pile of sand back under the big window. And we have a structural engineer that had just retired. And he was like, I don't know why this sand is here. And so he started looking at it, and he started pulling off part of the panels back there to take a closer look, and realized that there was a lot of deterioration. It was not only in the mortar and the bricks, but it was also all around the window, all the wood and so forth. And the more he pulled, the more he found. He could tell that that wall was in deep trouble and could very easily fall down. In order to fix the wall where the big window is, the window had to come out. And they took it down to every little piece, like a big puzzle. It was amazing. We feel that we have now got a real handle on preserving the church. And we believe this is not just a church, but it's a structure that belongs to Smithfield, and Smithfield needs to help us keep this up for other generations.